Okay,
Oh, my goodness.
I know. So I'm dog sitting today, so you get him with it. This is Pismo.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's our meeting today.
Yeah.
I get to admit somebody else. We got Maribel. I'm still technologically a little bit challenged, so I may ask first to run up.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna close this so he doesn't escape.
Okay. Oh, my God. I'm in heaven. Yeah.
Your name is Pismo.
Like a bee.
Yep,
Right.
so you guys don't mind I sit? Or do you want me to stand?
No, you're ordering us. Look at us. I'm around my.
Right, all your stuff. So. Is it all over yet? Yeah, okay, we can start. So today's class is define your value. And you know, I'm one of those that will go off of the sheets, but I'm also gonna give you my input, you know, about how I do things.
Which is what we prepared to learn.
Right, we want to hear. So here's the course overview today. You guys have gone over Spark Your Career, Embrace Your Job, Connect with Your Market. Today's the outline. I think it's next one. These aren't in the same order. If you guys see somebody pop up that wants to get in, let me know. Okay. So here we're going to do the value proposition. What it matters to buyers and sellers, it's not about what we are, it's about what they think they need. Oh, okay. Thank you, guys. And then define your value proposition, recaps and ahas and daily success system. I guess that's what you guys have been working on too. So the value proposition. Your value proposition is a unique, memorable, there's another one. I just wish I could just come in. Let me move her up here, there we go. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Somebody?
Yes.
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 Okay, good. I just want to make sure you can hear me. Not necessarily see me, but there's the class. You get to say hi to your classmates, okay? We're gonna go over to find your value today, which is value propositions, okay?
All right.
Everybody on board. Okay, I'm gonna put this down to 1. Okay. Is a unique, memorable, persuasive statement that expresses the true value of working with you. What makes you different than everybody else? Address the specific special needs of the buyer and the seller in your marketplace. States what you will do for your client to earn your commission. Hold you accountable to higher standards. The agents can easily explain what services they will provide to anyone who hires them. Benefits of a value proposition: helps your clients understand your value and expertise, protects your commission, builds strong and trusting relationships. So here's some. I'm going a little bit fast. So let's begin with a value. We were just on the site that says, you know, what it is. It's a unique, memorable, persuasive statement that expresses the true value, addresses a specific. So with that, they want you, Keller Williams wants you to do the WI4C2ES is commitment in all things. Your value proposition ultimately is a promise to fill your client's needs. But you have to know what your client wants, right? So you have different categories. You have your buyer, your seller, and your tenants. I mean, you've got less people need homes to rent too. And so we have to remember it's not all about buying and selling. I call my leases my shoe money. Right?
Raw money.
Yeah, you know, whatever it is that we need to get our hands on, right? So
Oh, you've got a customer.
I do, okay, Michael Humphreys. Okay, there you go. Hi. So when learning to define your personal value proposition, it may be helpful to look at examples of value propositions from well-known companies. That's what this is. So Airbnb exists to create a world where everyone can belong anywhere, providing healthy travel that is local, authentic, diverse, inclusive, and sustainable. What I would have said in Airbnb is like, make you feel at home. That's what that would have been my clause. Because you're in a house typically, right? We want you to feel at home away from home. That would have been me, but what do I know, right? And then Walmart, everyday low prices for a broad range of goods that are always in stock and convenient geographic locations. Yeah, that's true. Slack, I don't know what that is.
Oh, yeah.
What is Slack?
It's very millennial.
Yeah, but I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay.
It's,
It makes it downright pleasant to
like
work
Discord.
together.
It's a communication app where people like
Okay.
get together, yeah.
Okay, Grammarly, I know what that is because it corrects my writing all the time. It always says your grammar sucks, is what it says.
Grammarly.
Right, great writing, simplified, composable, clear mistakes. Sorry, Arthur, mistake writing with Grammarly's AI-powered writing assistant. QuickBooks, send invoices in minutes and get paid in 2 days faster. State Farm, here to help life go right. So what I want you guys to do is, you don't have three, well, you can break down all three of you, and then online, you guys, everybody that's online, you could maybe kind of talk among each other. But it says what makes a value. It says to break out participants into groups of 3 or 4, have them choose 2 examples and discuss what makes these examples successful. You don't really have to do that if you don't want to, but my thought is I want you to start thinking about examples. What value propositions are written in client-centered language of those, right? And which ones are examples pose a challenge along its solution, and then challenge with a solution. To me, the challenge is the QuickBooks one, right? And Grammarly are the solution base, and then value proposition examples that explain either or directly or indirectly through implication why you're different from the competition.
So that would be maybe, well, different from the competition.
Yeah,
Pick 2
so
out of those.
I guess I want you to look at these.
So probably Slack and.
Slack, I would say,
Yeah.
right? Because it's,
Sorry.
because I know a lot of the communication things with me are not pleasant to work with. Right, so
Yeah.
we make it like,
Okay.
right, so Walmart, everyday low prices, yeah, I mean, we know these companies, so we know what they do.
And maybe Airbnb is a little different compared to like going to a hotel.
Yeah, so to me, I don't feel at home at a hotel,
Yeah, no.
but when I go to an Airbnb, I'm in somebody's home, I feel like a guest in my own home.
Mhm.
So I think that's cool. That's what I would have done, in a lot less words.
Yeah.
You know, but, so that's there, but it's a value proposition. It's not necessarily a slogan. So connect your value, where's Maria? Okay. Your fiduciary and your markets expert. So what that means is, what other knowledge, attitude, skills, and beliefs do you possess to help you stand out as an agent? So examples are bilingual. Okay, maybe because like my partner Pilar, she speaks Spanish, so we can say whatever that is, say hablo español, right? You used to work in sales. Your family member was in real estate forever. Maybe you're a 3rd generation realtor. They have a degree in finance, accounting, business, real estate. Those are just different things that so here, KW Market Center, here's how you can use a value if you don't have any business, right? You haven't done any yet. I know you have, but there's some agents in here that haven't. So we want to say, how do I make it sound like I know what I'm talking about, right? How do I, so this is what you do. I have access to the collective knowledge and experience of over 200,000 agents worldwide. And you do, because we are so collaborative, right? Fiduciary, I can point you to the reputable resources for service for the providers such as handymen, window washers, tax associates, and financial advisors. What I want you to do is start going to people you know and ask them who their window washer is. Start a database. So what I do is I like, because I guarantee you, when you can send out an email, Arthur, or a text and say, hey, I'm working on getting a service VIP list. Who's your favorite handyman? Who's your favorite hairdresser? Because we have clients that move into the area,
Yeah, I totally get that.
right? So I have my hairdresser, I go to her and say, if I refer you somebody new to the neighborhood, she says, yeah, I'll give them $50 off or whatever, right? So you start working with them to come up with value things you can use for your marketing. I use a lot of business to business. I'll tell you about one that I just landed from a mailer I just went in a little bit. So market expert, I'm sorry, you guys, it's because you,
Are you kidding? I mean, look,
Okay.
can he have collard greens or?
yeah, you can have whatever,
Oh,
if he'll eat it,
Oh, of course.
if he'll eat it, that's what
Yeah,
I don't.
my top is just a vegan, so you never know. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll see. He might spit it out, just a I don't think he thinks it'll be bigger, but don't take it personal. So I can help you price your home to sell because I'm very tuned in the market at the moment, market expert. So I would change that. In today's times, mine would say something about, the shift is happening. And because of that, I have, what did I say the other day? The shift is happening and you look at it one way and I see it the real way. The real way is we need to price it so that you get more eyeballs. Lay down.
Try the collard greens.
We want to price it so that you get more eyeballs because these guys sitting up here, or like we have one that we wrote an offer on, they're asking 154, a great house. 6 months ago, it would have been sold. They had 130 views and no offers.
130?
Yeah,
Okay, my.
130 showings, no. So what I want you to start doing is asking agents or calling agents online, that have listings that have been sitting. How many showings have you had? I'm just getting a feel for the market.
Okay.
So it's okay. If they don't tell you, then they're dickheads.
Right.
Sorry, that's just how I feel about it. But I think as a whole, all agents should be working together. We're not different companies. We're all on the same team as far as I'm concerned. So,
We don't work together.
yeah.
Just relationships are important.
So your value proposition, I found this a little
Oh, yeah.
Keller Williams-ish.
Yeah.
Oh, another one, instead of how I would do it. So we'll get to mine eventually for you, but I have to go through this. So what matters to buyers and sellers? This is important, right? What's the difference? So for buyers, our goal is to find just the right home at the best price and the right time with the least number of problems. I don't know if you guys heard Frank Kinney the other day where he said, buyers are able to get incentives now. They're able to get a discount on properties, right? So he's right. That's how you talk to them. They may say, well, the interest rates are higher. Yeah, but you can get a discount on price right now. Or go ahead.
Was it you maybe last week that suggested having the seller buy points for?
Yeah, so another thing that I've been doing is several things. First, I figure out how much money they owe. So we're gonna kind of go off script. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Good, he did it finally. So
So insulted by my offer.
I know he said, oh,
Yeah, I was like,
right.
oh my gosh, she's crazy. And I did start to hit on him, I'll be honest, I was like, I love your forearms, and he was like, I'm like, sorry.
It's so funny. So the goal is the most amount of money, the seller's shortest amount of time with the least number of problems. And they don't know how many problems are going to happen during an escrow. We do, because we're that behind the scenes buffer. Okay, they don't ever. I have a listing right now that we started at 1850. We've dropped it to 1785. We countered at 1685. My buyer lost. My buyer said no, it's worth 1550. That's my price. If they've got a better offer, they're going to take it. The sellers aren't wrapping their heads around what's happening. They saw all their friends walk away with $400,000 in equity. So I'm changing my language to saying, instead of a CMA, how would you like an equity analysis? Equity analysis, because you're changing it to what everybody else is saying. So let me give you an equity analysis. What do you owe? Right, you find out 300,000. Great. How long have you owned the home? I inherited it. Great. So let me ask you this: did they do a date of death date of death?
But they appraised it, the data.
No, there's a date of death appraisal, right? So if they did that, and what was it? They got $1.3 million. Okay, great. So $1.3 million. And now the house is worth $1.5 million. You're not going to have capital gains. So that's good. Here's what you walk away with. Hi. So those are hey, he's going to come over and say hi for a minute and bark and do all that. Okay, Pismo, come lay down. You didn't. Well, he's been away from me for a while because he knows into the back. Come on.
Uh-oh.
He's been he'll smell you and then come back. So
These are correct.
it's so distracting. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I need to.
So we have this dichotomy right now that's happening. And a lot of these things, yes, there's still a needs analysis, there's a pre-qual. This is the buyer value proposition, neighborhood information, home search, make an offer, negotiating to buy, vendor coordination. That's the things I was talking about. So if you have a list of surveyors, geological people that do the soils, sewer line inspectors, that do, you may have a plumber, but they may not do cameras. We're talking about building a value proposition. Okay. What's your name? Alex. Hi, Alex. I'm Lauren. So vendor coordination, that's where you would use that because they're going to need this stuff during escrow. I always give them one that this is what I recommend. I recommend you getting 2 others to review or give them 3 names.
That's what I do.
Yeah. But they'll always ask me which one have you used, and I tell them because I said if you use my name, you get a little bit of a discount. So because we've worked on that relationship with that vendor. And what I would do is, if you can, make little tickets, little coupons from that person.
Okay.
So that says, Matucci Plumbing will give you a free service, 1 free service call, something like that, and you give it to them with the close of their transaction, or you give them a sheet with each one thing that they need and what they use if they use your name.
Got it.
That's a great idea. So anyway, value of pre-close preparation. What is that, do you think? Moving,
Yeah.
movers.
Yeah.
Pre-close is making sure they have all the documents in the escrow.
I will look through it.
The walkthrough, make sure that nobody's trash placed in T5. Yeah. Just a few different things, but think about, oh my goodness, people come in this late, okay.
That would make me nuts. I can't.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are seeing it. Okay, everybody, hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Up on the screen? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, great. Just if you can't hear me ever, just chime in, okay? Or if you have questions, it's okay just to chime in. I'm easy.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay. I don't get all weird about it. Okay, so let's do this. Oop, go back over here. I think this is how negotiating to buy, closing, post-closing. So when you do a buyer presentation, don't you think you should talk about all this stuff in your buyer presentation? Doesn't have to be, you could do it in a pie form, you could do it in a questionnaire, you could do it on a lot of things. Because when people start filling out a questionnaire, they're going to work with you. In my opinion. This is just my opinion. It's not Keller Williams' opinion, it's just one.
No, I agree with you though. I mentioned this when I was across the street, but I used to do the loan apps for the new buyers, or I would have them make an appointment to sit down and input what they want the MLS and anything to get them invested, like they've already put some time in, they've already sat with me. And then in the case of back when, you know, the loans were processed manually, it was a great way to also get their allegiance because they just gave me their social security number. I'm not doing their loan by any means, but I'm there on behalf of that vendor and
Right.
just being that one-stop shop.
Yeah,
And that will do it every time, once they've invested that.
well, and that's just it, if they show up to meet you,
They're yours.
they're
Yeah,
yours,
take
because
care
they've
of that.
taken the time to come to your office to meet with you. I always recommend if you can get them to your office, do that. Because if you're at a house, it's distracting. They're watching to see who else comes in. You know, you can't have that presentation that you want to have.
No.
So there was a part in there that we read with the least amount of problems, remember? So let's talk about that. What does that mean? Which is important to both buyers and sellers in their real estate experiences. Sometimes problems will occur, yet with our due diligence, they can either be prevented or minimized. You want to have, I believe, samples of problems that could happen. And being new, you may not know those. So that's when you come, you overhear other agents talking, or you ask Frank, you know, what's one of the biggest problems that you ran into with a buyer?
So can I give you an example of one that I ran into with my?
Well, the other day, the closing.
So last week, we finally got the CCNR page of their document. And they said that he would not be able to sublease out his unit, but that's one of his goals. He wants to eventually lease it out. So
Sublease or lease it?
I mean, lease it, sorry.
Okay, those are two different meanings.
Yes, so lease it out, so that was gonna probably kill the deal, but I remember that Gavin Newsom passed a new law last year saying that HOAs cannot restrict owners from being able to lease their units, so we sent that information over to the HOA company and they immediately said, oh yeah, we're amending the CCNR. We haven't done that yet.
See how important, very good, thank you, Arthur.
Yeah.
It's really important to be up on the laws, the bills. Like right now, I don't know if you know it, August 1st, you can start evicting tenants again. Thank God, we've got tenants that haven't been paying.
Yeah.
We still haven't gotten the money from the housing is
Oh,
key.
wow.
5 months, my mother-in-law hasn't gotten it. And the guy's like, oh, I'll pay when I feel like it, because that's how he felt. He didn't have to pay for 5 months. So, I'm getting together with her, a 3-day pay or quit. And then, they can have to fix the problem or she can start the eviction process. And then after that, you don't have to collect rents. So it's really important. Like another thing I have in my office, if you guys want it, a folder from the LA County Assessor's Office. So the LA County Assessor's Office has it about homeowners exemptions. It talks about Prop 19, the 3 times you can transfer your property tax. It talks about the child to parent transfer. All of that stuff is, or parent to child and grandparent to grandchild transfer. I've got a folder in my office if you guys want. I have a bunch that I think is really valuable for you to look at it and then do research.
Yeah.
Okay, so come by where my office is up front.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says, I get to call on participants and share their answers and their knowledge on their responses. So your seller is having second thoughts about selling their home. Here's the theory. To prevent and minimize challenges, you can do a comparable market analysis. I call it equity evaluation. Remind sellers of their motivation to move because you've asked all those questions. What's their goal when they move, right? Remember, I don't know what class you had so far, but they teach you to ask those deep questions. And you'll hear as they're talking nuggets, and you'll write it down like daughter in Ohio, right? Oh, don't you want to be with your daughter in Ohio? Well, this is going to get you closer. And then remind sellers about their destination. That's what I'm just saying. And discuss the risks of starting over. So let's say they want to wait Well, we'll wait and see. Well, we know as agents, because we've got our fingers on the pulse of what's happening. The next year could be catastrophic. It could be. I mean, in my opinion, I think March of middle of next year is going to be the time to buy. So anyway, it wants us to sit down and ask you these questions. And you can, there's not enough for me to break it down. You guys can all just answer. Understand the mindset of the buyers and sellers. Communicate often with all stakeholders, which means when you go to an appointment, when you're pre-qualifying, I hope you do before you go on a listing appointment. I have a pre-qual sheet, and one of them is, are all the owners, are all the people that are responsible, you know, that are on title, are they gonna be present? Is everybody there gonna be at our appointment? Because if they're not, I have to reschedule. Okay? The buyers, if there's somebody buying and their mother's giving them the money and she has final say, you want her at that damn meeting. Because I've seen them walk in, the kids are all excited, and the parents go, no, no, no. And then it kills the deal. So handle or closely oversee the contract to close process. Anticipate challenges and prevent action to avoid them. Look at creative solutions. So you're a lawyer, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a lot of, and this is based on experience, okay? So there's a lot of, when I'm talking, somebody will say, oh, I sued so-and-so for something. I'm not gonna do business with that person.
Neither do I do criminal.
Well, okay, but still, you know what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
yeah. In
Because if
fact,
they've sued,
yes,
they're apt to sue again.
we
because
dodged a bullet that way, didn't we? Winchester. I cannot, and we talk about this a lot, when somebody, well, I'm sure you guys know this, I mean, I've had my license for almost 30 years, but, and I'll tell the people, you know, who, if you get a buyer who you're like the 5th or 6th agent that they've been working, yeah, don't take that, speaking of pre-qualifying, right? We don't take that one because they're not loyal and because.
Or you find
You'll
out
never
maybe they had some agents
Yeah.
that didn't take them out and show them the properties.
But, yeah.
Maybe they were all over the place.
But
Your
no,
job
but
is to
just
get
saying-
them to that spot.
No, we were at a listing appointment and after it, the guy was so mad at his existing agent that he 0 to 60 went to DRE. And, you know, and so anybody who that's their protocol or suing, definitely on suing.
Well, and the risk
So, yeah.
is the CAR put a target on our backs.
Yeah.
When they did the thing about, let's say I'm saying, oh, that black guy over there, blah, 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 right? And that offended him. He can then report me, I lose my license and I get fined 10,000 without explanation. Because his feelings were hurt. So I'm not saying you, Alex, I'm just. I'm just-
Yeah, we've all got thin skins in here, right?
Yeah, right, I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah.
Does everybody up there have
Yeah.
any comments on Zoom? Any thoughts? Any comments? Any ahas through this so far?
No, I think I'm okay.
I think what you're saying that too, what I love is that you're saying pre-qualified, but when we first hear like seller, because you're talking about a seller.
Right.
Or either one,
Right.
we, you know, when we think pre-qualified, we're thinking, are they ready doing an A-wall? You know, have they identified a property? Are they realistic about price? Da, da, da. What I like is that you do that subjective aspect in there of how about just the personality? Are they vexatious litigators? You know,
Right,
I
well,
like that.
right, and the other thing is when you're in the pre-qual, you're gonna know, when you're pre-qualifying a seller, we're talking sellers right now. When you're pre-qualling them on the phone, you're gonna know what kind, if they're engineer type, high I's, high D's. I don't know if you guys all follow the disc, if you haven't, I recommend it. So I'm a high I and a high D.
Not surprised, and so am I. I love it. Yeah, that's.
So I'm kind of both, I'm not as focused as I should be, so I'm more high I than I am D, but I'm D. Because when I focus, I'm in, yeah, I get it done, I'll, you know, if I got a goal or there's competition, I'm.
Usually something emergency.
Right.
Or the other sudden day.
Sporting. So there's a thing called DISC, D-I-S-C, it's personality types. S is like a support, clerical, that type of person.
Steady, like.
Steady, calm, not me. I is high.
Describe the cars that the different personality, so like the eye is like the VW bug with the eyelashes. I mean, you're really high up, I don't know if you drive.
I don't know, but I'm more of a BMW kind of gal, but, a D is somebody determined, D, focus,
Dominant.
driven,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of thing. I is, high eyes is,
Influencing.
yeah, just a high personality.
Energy, like maybe.
Yeah, high energy, and C is comfort, just somebody that's, will take care of you, and so S is in, yeah, so on in Keller Williams Hub, they do have the test that you could take to figure out what you are.
I highly recommend it, I love that thing.
There's different ones, like, Career Compass calls it the north, south, east, or west, you know, with Beef, Wellington.
Yeah.
I love this.
I told him I was doing my underwear up on there, like a Tom Jones concert.
Right, he's so funny, so I do, the lawyer letters, that he talks about, I speak for him on those and how they work. I just tweaked it totally, and I got a call from a lawyer yesterday, I'll tell you guys. So, what buyers want most from their agent, they broke it down in a pie. If you notice something that's really interesting, other is 24%.
That's so true, though.
Help me get, so what is the other,
And
right?
this is on the buyers only?
This is the buyer, so help with paperwork is 8%. Determine, I don't know if that's on the slide, let's see. They don't show me the slides before I go in. Agent is honest, trustworthy, agent's experience, reputation of an agent, look at those. But let's go back to this for a minute, I really want you guys to think about what that other is. 8% of it is help with paperwork. 6% is determine the comparable homes we're selling for. You guys remember, that is not as valuable as it used to be. When I was started, we had a book, a real estate book. We didn't have the internet. You know, it wasn't accessible for everybody. So now they know more than you do going in. They're gonna ask you, what do you know about that house down the street? You better know it.
Yeah.
If you haven't gotten into it, you better call somebody that did. If you're going on a high-end listing appointment, because they know every freaking house that's sold on those streets. That's why brokers opens and brokers caravans are very important.
Yeah.
So that's just my take. How much to determining that a home buyer can afford is 4%. We kind of refer them to an agent, but it's still important to have that conversation. I have a conversation with them. Let's say they're qualified with the husband and wife or the partner, you know, each one, that they have to qualify with both. My question is to them, because I'm about them, not about making my commission. I say to them, are you sure you're comfortable with this? Because this is at your highest point if one of you is unemployed. And they're like, we're not gonna be unemployed, you guys who just had a pandemic.
When you look back at that, that was pretty outrageous. Like, that was crazy.
Yeah,
That was crazy, like.
they were trying to do it again, but
But
before
the whole,
we shut it down.
what was amazing about it for me is just that the whole world was in the same mode, and that
Yeah, it was
does
weird.
not happen. Like,
Right.
everybody was.
Well, England did it a lot less.
And maybe the people with the clicking tongues and the garment, the loincloth, maybe they weren't. You know, God's listening, Grace.
It says help teach buyers about neighborhoods or areas. So those would be restaurants, parks, public transportation. That's 2% because it's for people relocating into the area, right? People relocating in the area, you want to ask them questions without steering them, but you want to find out what their life's like. Are kids important? Are athletics important? Do you need to be around the parks? Do you need to be around those places, right? So I kind of ask them to bring their family when they come to the presentation and have a pile of toys for the kids, because you want to see how they interact. I'm telling you, it tells you a lot. You know, if you can meet them at their house, you see a lot too, how they live. This shows their style. Help find renters for buyers' properties is less than 1%, and then others 2%. So what are the it was just interesting to me, the difference. So what do buyers value when choosing an agent? 44% is other. What?
Oh, but it's so buyer, they're like, can you just do everything and please hold my body part?
Well, here, agent, here, if a participant asks what factors are included in other, which I was hoping you would, but you didn't, so I'm gonna tell you. Agent, listen to this, 13% is agent is a friend or a family member. You know what a friend means? Somebody you know, like, or trust. No, it's also know, like, or trust. So it's my sphere. That's why I tell everybody, use your damn phone. Your phone is your database. And then the next biggest one is 8% is knowledge of the neighborhood that they want. That's in the other category that I'm talking about, that gray area. So because 20% you can see is trustworthy, right? Honest and trustworthy. Then agent's experience is 19%.
Yeah.
Then you got reputation of agent, which is why you want all your reviews and stuff exposed. Okay, but then there's 44% that's broken down into 12 categories here.
But you guys, you see this, looky, because you said you're new, but it doesn't seem like it. Your experience is really just as important to them as your integrity. That should not discourage any
Right,
agent.
right.
They don't care.
Well, this is what I was gonna tell you here. So you've got 8% is knowledge of the neighborhood. You could know a neighborhood and be a new agent.
Yeah.
6% is agent caring, has a caring personality, a good listener. That's not me. I do care, I'm kidding. 6%. So done, new agent. 6%, agent is timely in responses. You don't have to be an experienced agent. Here's a 4%. Agent seems 100% accessible because of the use of technology like tablet and smartphone.
You want to hear something funny? That does be new too. Under the law, actual federal law and all that. In order for somebody to be an agent of a principal, only the principal has to have capacity, mental capacity to consent to the representation, which means you could have an agent who is arguably insane.
Which I know, I meet them all the time.
Exactly, right? Yeah. And I'm worried about it. But the bottom line is you really don't need to have a whole lot going on paper to be that trusted person for someone. Be different, stand out, and be one of the non-crazy ones.
Well, and just those few things I told you on the other category, right?
Yeah, like my current client, his dad's an agent and he went with me instead.
See?
But
So,
it's like we're friends. I've known this for.
right, but his dad may work in a whole different environment
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, you guys.
So you want to break that down. If somebody says, oh, my friend's a commercial agent, well, that's great. They don't know any of the agents in our market. So you want to talk about reputations with other agents, not just reputation in the marketplace.
Yeah.
If people know when I bring an offer, I'm not gonna lollygag and I'm not gonna not show up. And I know I'm gonna get everything done in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I want to move on to my next deal.
Yeah.
So when I get an offer from an agent that I know that has stolen a house from a client or that has never shown up at every inspection when I've had the list. Every time, this is one agent, every time I go into escrow, he's like, oh, I got a tax for you handle it. So I'm liable now for what his buyers do at the inspections. So you have to, so my suggestion, if you guys online hear this, is ask the question to the agent. Do you have a vacation planned or anything during this time? Do you have anything on the schedule that's going to make it so you're not present? I don't think that's an unfair question. If they say, yeah, I'm going to be gone, but I have an assistant handling, great. Have that assistant be a participant to everything that we're doing.
Yeah, copy on everything.
Copy and all the conversations, all of that stuff.
And in court, we have to do that actually. We have to state what our availability is going to be over the course of that transaction. Like right away, they establish that.
Well,
So
we
why
should
can't
be
we?
doing the same thing. Why don't we?
Why can't we? That's what I'm saying, is the template,
It's the
it
same.
works.
Right.
It's all sales.
Right. So that's important. Okay, so here, what sellers want most from their agent? So here's how the reason for these is for you to come up with a value proposition that fits you. So because you don't have a bunch of experienced self, you could use the part compassionate listener, knowledge of the neighborhood of wherever you're marketing, start giving them stats in your marketing. What was the other one? There was what we were saying, oh, integrity,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, you can say you have integrity, but it's how you care, it's how you respond to things and stuff too. I don't think Martha has integrity. I'm kidding. You know, I wouldn't say that if it was true, right? Okay. What sellers want most, this is now sellers. So this is gonna help you think of value propositions. They want their home priced competitively and help the sellers. So this is really important during this shift, you guys. I have been doing little videos saying I have a strategy that will help you get top dollar in this crazy market. That's all you have to say. What's your strategy? If I tell you I have to kill you, right? So basically what it is, and Frank's good at that too. Like he says, okay, I'll put it on your price for a week, 2 weeks. After that, and I put it in the contract that they agreed to drop it. I said, but you're gonna lose a ton of buyers because you didn't do it up front.
When you were fresh.
Yeah, when you're new, if you come in, let's say the market's at 1.4 and you put it at 1.250, you're probably gonna get more than 1.4. It's just what happens. More chance of that than not. But if you sit it at 1.4 and there's 10 other houses at 1.4, you're not probably gonna get 1.3, 1.350. Another really good thing to do with sellers, when they're not sure about the price, I take a list of everything that's on the market and say, let's go for a drive. And I take them and show them each house. I take them and show them the houses that are on the market that fit their criteria, you know, or houses in their neighborhood. If you're at one, you think you're at 1.4, great. Let's go show you what's a 1.4 and it's been sitting for 6 months or 3 days or 90 days or whatever it is. Because average price that average time homes are sitting on the market now is 45 to 82 days. That's a normal market. But there's also 12 or 12 where I market, there's 22 homes in the area. And they're sitting and sitting and sitting and sitting and sitting and sitting. And they new, people go, oh, there's something new. The other thing that I recommend is offering a higher commission. So 7%.
Oh, yeah, you're we're all over that.
Right, you have to be careful. So just so you know, I just did that and I got a violation.
Oh,
So I did that, 20% was okay.
yeah.
But what happened was, he says if it gets this price.
The override.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't do that. That's enticing something for something. That's a loss of violation.
They're kind of a cluster anyways.
Yeah.
You didn't use it and you did.
Well, they're 3% and then they did $5,000 bonus. We had to take off if you come in at asking price. You can't do that. I got a big violation notice. I didn't get fined because I fixed it. They gave me so many days.
No matter what you got. Okay.
But just so you guys know, the only way that we're gonna get a house sold in this market is enticing the agent to bring them there. I'm telling you, don't do the freaking cut your commission.
Yeah.
Now we need it more than ever.
This is
Back when I
all-
was selling it overnight, I didn't care. Didn't cost me.
Yeah.
So your conversation is, you know what, Mr. Seller? In order for us to get this home sold in a timely manner, we're gonna have to entice the agents to show it.
Remember that conversation?
Because the agents are the ones that have the buyers.
We want to bribe them.
So-
buyers.
Don't say buy.
Now I'm kind of getting what you're saying, so a month ago,
You don't want it either.
I held an open house for, you have some.
Oh,
I held an open house for someone based out of the ED office,
Uh-huh.
but the listing was in Hollywood. Really small house, 720 square feet, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, listed when I was showing, when I was hosting the open house, it was listed at $1.
okay.
My friend came over that works out of the Beverly Hills office and he said, y'all need to work on the commission for the buyers that you get. And I'm like, mean? And then I look, it's like, oh, yeah. It's like, yeah, no one's coming in to see this.
No, and what were you paying out?
It wasn't him, it was,
Or what were they paying out?
It was just regular three,
2.5.
no, 2.5, yeah,
Right.
it's 2.5.
so for a long time, you guys know, commissions are not fixed, and we can't say they're fixed. If somebody says, what's your fee, say, well, mine
Yeah.
is 7% because of this. This, and this, and if they say, well, we affect the commission, I say, what do you want to take out?
Yeah.
What do you not want me to do to sell your house? And they're like, well, I want it all. Well, then I'm gonna charge you 7%. And not only that, I'm gonna give 4% to the buyer side, so I'm not even making the money. I'm giving them 4% so that we get more eyeballs in here. And you know what? Instead of reducing it, if we don't get it in 2 weeks, I'm gonna have you offer a $10,000 bonus. That's how you do it for that. No, you won't. You have to say $10,000 bonus, not for something. So you can say,
Oh.
here, is everybody following that up online too? I just want to make sure everybody understands that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For one.
Is everybody following that?
Yes.
Online? I can't hear them.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can. I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, we're following.
Okay, so you guys can hear me. Okay.
Sorry, can you repeat that $10,000?
Okay, so let's break this down. So part of your strategy, right? When you tell a seller, thank you. Thank you.
I know, like, I
That's
should
so
rather.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rather you did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's still
Yeah,
not
exactly.
in this world. Thank you, honey. So what I'm saying is this. When you want to get a seller, you have to stand out.
Yeah.
Right? Right, everybody agrees we have to be different than everybody else. You're sitting down at the table, we all have the same damn presentation, we all have the same thing. Some of us have better reviews than others. That's what I do. I put my reviews in the front. I don't put them at the last.
Yeah.
And I have phone numbers.
I need to go back like that. I need to start building numbers.
So I, Arthur, his phone number is 310-422-1212. Call him. He'll tell you about our experience. You want the most current one that was good, you know?
I
So,
never put that much emphasis on reviews. That's so funny because like now that I'm back.
well, you have
everyone's
to
like, "Oh,
ask them
reviews."
for permission. You have to
Yeah.
ask your buyer.
It's not- I used to have to do a referral, but review, I have to remember that we.
Not just a quit. So another thing I used to do is if somebody asked me to cut the commission, I'd say, okay, I want 3 referrals before close of escrow and I'll do it. If not, then we're at full commission.
Because I needed to eat. So if you're not gonna feed me, tell me whiz. Show me somebody gonna feed me.
3 or 4, would it have to lead to something or just 3 or 4? Somebody could give you random.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Like when they do a reward,
Yeah.
like they do a reward, the police reward, they're like reward that leads to the arrest or to the
Right.
conviction or, yeah. Actually, I'm gonna take advantage and believe Jack. And then it's here. And then I will take.
Hold on 1 second.
No, take it. And then we'll. So I'm gonna do that. So I'm
Hold on, guys. I've got to just finish this up.
Take our time, no, it's emotional. See, that one sticks out there. This one is more first. That's the
Okay.
later.
Sorry, guys. It's
No,
so-
I'm gonna be right back, because I just said that I have to leave like right.
Okay.
I'm gonna have my stuff down here.
Okay, so you were asking me to explain that again, and that was about the seller's commissions, right? Okay, so you're sitting down at the table and you have a seller that's trying to get you to cut your commissions and all this stuff. You say, you know what? let's go through everything first. What happens typically is on the pre-qual, they'll ask me, what are your commissions? I'll say, we'll talk about how I meet with you.
Yeah.
Or, and then I break it down, what I do, your marketing plan. Your marketing plan, well, I'm gonna put it in paper, do all this. You have to have a marketing plan that's not just, oh, I put it in the MLS. Well, then there's no value there.
Yeah.
You want to put it that, you know, I do a drone, I do, if the property fits it.
Yeah.
You know, I do professional photography. I have a spot and digs that we can put you in. I have, I do internet, you know, I do internet ads that draw a lot of people to it, et cetera, right? So that's one part of it. But the other part of it is like here, the high price, what's that, 21%, 27% is other, right? You got 20% is help market home to potential buyers. The other one, 16 and 16 is help sell the home within a specific time frame, help seller find ways to fix up the home to sell it for more. I always meet at their house. I walk in, sometimes it's a two appointments, because the first one, I can't give them a value till I see it. Then I go, well, this one, what? But you're letting them show you around, you're getting all the ideas, what's their favorite room, what's their favorite, what they did to it. You know, I always have something to write down, so they know I'm listening, I talk less and write. And then that helps me with my marketing piece. So then I go back and I write a negative line for them and says, this is what it would say. Something like that, or these are the buyers who we think we should attract based on what you told us. But the biggest thing is your value proposition. How are you going to sell it when there's 20 other homes for sale, same price range, same type of house? What's going to get more eyes in offering a higher commission and a bonus? So what I suggest, Mr. Seller, is we start at 7%. I do 3. I give 4% to the buyer, and we'll have the buyers come through. If it doesn't sell at that time, instead of dropping at 100,000, because I feel that we're pricing it right at 1,250, right? Let's offer a $10,000 bonus. Or better yet, we could offer to pay points to buy damage so they can't afford it. So there's different things you can do. But if you say a $10,000 bonus, my error was I said because the seller, I worked with a seller, this is what they wanted.
Yeah.
$5,000 bonus if buyer brings price at asking or better. That was the violation, not the $5,000 bonus. You can't do it for an incentive. Does that make sense? Does everybody online understand that? Hi, Cece.
Yep, it makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. I just want to make sure, sometimes I forget that we've got people listening online. So I just want to make sure you guys know I'm participating with you. Oh, view. 2 people entered the, how do I
Oh, go back up. Yeah, right there.
admit and admit? Okay, there you go. Sorry, guys. I didn't know you were waiting. Okay, now we got everybody. Okay. So let me get back to this. So here's your breakdown. Now on this, guess what the number one of the other, right? It says 27%, that's a lot. So 12% of that 27% is help find a buyer for their home. There's your conversation. Do you understand now? In order for me to help you find the right buyer for your house, all the agents, most buyers, probably 85–90% of buyers work with an agent.
Right.
We want to entice these agents to show only your house. Your house is the one house that they're all going to show because we're paying them to show. 6% is help with negotiation and dealing with buyers. Once a buyer comes in with an offer, you better know the different ways to respond. You know, if they come back and they come down really low and they're going to walk it. You don't want to lose the buyer. Like I have that happening on mine right now. They're walking because the seller decided they didn't want to come down and meet them at their price. So like, you know, it's good. We're done. This house is not worth that. It needs too much work. You know, that kind of conversation. So, and it was my buyer. So now I'm having the conversation with them like, do you I remembered how bad he wanted the house. I said, don't you want this house? He goes, yeah, but I can't overpay it. I don't know what the future holds here. We're going into a scary time. And the vendors, everything's costing more money, supply chain. You have to remember that. So another thing that I do when I go into a house, they say, what does it need? Well, so you have to be careful because they've got their freaking family pictures everywhere. They've got clutter. They've got, you know, their kid's room is still the same as it was 40 years ago. They've got to update it. You know, do you mind if we come in? If I have a, you know, maybe one of you has a team and one's better at that than the other. You know, let me have somebody come in and give you a few pointers just to freshen it up. One of them would be a deep clean. Secondly is those little plugins. Third thing is paint always works. Plugins, the scent,
Oh.
vanilla sells houses.
Vanilla.
Vanilla.
Try to have a vanilla candle at open house.
Problem is I had a candle once, I blew it out, I left, I came back and it burned up everything. So
Okay. Yeah.
people keep, they must fall off and then come back in.
Yeah, like lose respect.
Okay, so buyers factor, so consider reputation of an agent, honest, trustworthy, we did all that, okay. So now we get to define a proposition from all of that you guys learned, right? Oh, here, I missed one. Well, anyway, let's talk about it. So when asked the most important factor in choosing a real estate agent, these were the top answers. 32% was reputation of agent. Now, reputation of agent is what they think that is a top agent. So if you blast, you could be a brand new agent and blast that neighborhood, they're going to think you're the top agent. Just that's the way it works. But also a reputation with other agents is really valuable. Don't be a dick to the other agent. I'm telling you,
Oh.
it gets around.
Yeah.
Agent is honest and trustworthy. How do they know that? Because of your reviews. The reviews that you got from previous people. If you're on a team, your team members probably have some great reviews. You say, oh, here's our team. And because we hang out with like people, we don't hang out with people that would be liars and not trustworthy, right? I mean, that's just a natural thing. At least I try not to. Agent is a friend or family member, 17%. But how do you become a friend? By participating with them, by including them in things, having client parties, having all of that stuff is really important. Only 12, right? Okay. If participants ask which factor, okay, we already talked about the other category on this one. This agent knowledge of neighborhood is 11%. You don't have to be a new agent. I mean, experienced agent. Agents caring personality and good listener, 5%. Agents commission is 4%. Agents association with a particular firm is 4%. That's on the other category. Well, everybody in town knows Keller Williams, thank God. You know, it's when I was at EXP, when they started out in South Bay, nobody knew who they were. Luckily, I was, you know. Okay, so here's one. Let's look at the top response from the agents, from sellers consider when choosing an agent, reputation of agent. We're going to talk about that part of it. If you're a new agent, you may wonder if you'll be at a disadvantage because you're still in the early stages of building your reputation as a real estate expert. However, we encourage you to learn to lean on the powerhouse reputation of the Keller Williams as you're getting your start. For example, you can tell potential clients Keller Williams has the strongest reputation in our marketplace for helping people with their real estate needs in the fastest time frame and the least number of problems. Now that we've looked at all these trends, what's important for buyers and sellers? What are the differences between what they need and why do you think the differences exist?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Yeah. So the question is, now that we've looked at both trends of what's important for buyers and sellers, what are the differences between what they need? And why do you think it's different between the buyer and the seller?
And what their subjective needs or.
It just says
or
needs from
overall?
everything that we've talked about. So to me, a buyer has a need. sometimes there's urgent need to get into a home quickly, right? So does a seller, so that's identical. The buyer wants to get the best price and best terms and the best neighborhood as they can. The seller wants to get the most money and the timely manner so they can get out of that neighborhood, you know, whatever it is. So to me, there's not a lot. It's just your mindset going in. When I sit down with a seller, I'll say, put your buyer's hat on. What do you like about this house? Why did you buy this? When you bought this, why did you buy it? So it says that there's a technology in your value proposition. Keller Williams, it says refer to the participant's guide. I don't know what you have. But this Keller Williams is committed to adding to your property or your value. Huh?
Customer.
Oh, another one? My God, people come in late. Like we're already halfway through, but oh well. So, and they talk about Keller Williams all the time, their command stuff. So they talk about smart plans, track your contacts and leads, customized intelligence, KW app, agent sites. You can say, how could you incorporate technology into your property, into your value proposition?
I'm not late.
Innovative technology, I meet you where you are. We can handle most of the transactions through your phone or laptop. It's all about convenience for you. You better know your customer. If it's a senior citizen, they don't care about our technology. They want you there. You better plan on spending a lot of time with them because a lot of them are lonely, living there by themselves. You better, when you're going to the house of somebody that's elderly, plan on blocking out a few hours. It's just what happens. It's really true. I work with a lot of seniors.
Wait, I was already know that.
They'll tell you this, it's okay. Just listen and yes, you're right. Oh my goodness, I love your wisdom. You know. So we're gonna talk about your that thing, the value proposition. So identify your knowledge, your attitudes, your skills, beliefs that make you qualified to be a real estate agent. So let's talk about those. So, Lucia, what's your number one? Write them down, ideas that you think that fit you in that first category. Each one of you online do this too, if you can. Think about your knowledge. If you're new, you probably don't have a whole lot of real estate knowledge. That's okay. What are your attitudes about real estate? You like working with people. You feel that everybody just, there's a German saying, there's a lid for every pot. You know, there's every person, there's a right house, right?
Yeah.
Skills. Your skills may not be in real estate, but they may be, you've got sales skills, you've got skills of, you know, maybe you work a nurse and so you're compassionate and empathetic. Maybe you were a financial planner or a CPA, so you can help people understand the financial benefits of it. You've got to break it down to what your strengths are. And then that's what makes you qualified to be a great real estate agent. But you also have to think of their needs while you're doing that.
Right.
So this is about you, but at the same time, bringing those into what they need. Arthur, you want to give an idea for you?
For
the top
for number one.
Yeah, number one.
So my knowledge, I grew up in the South Bay, so I kind of know all of the different areas. and little
That's
pockets
a
of it.
great, yep. I'm a fourth generation, so yeah. The other thing is, you know, the pot, that's great. I'm a local. I'm a homegrown. Homegrown, grew up here. Where'd you go to high school?
San Pedro High.
Okay, I went to San Pedro High School. You know, people have a bad taste about San Pedro, but I grew up here. I love it, you know, because my mother owned a travel agency up there. I had a house on 13th and Minor. They had the place up on 25th and Anchovy.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so I think that's South Shores up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Anchovy.
And I was in Bristol, you know, so I grew up in the Riviera. There's just, you want to take those neighborhoods and find the great things about them and market those. You don't, like the shooting at Penn Park, that doesn't even have to be in a conversation. Because that's not an everyday occurrence. The
Right, no,
everyday
it's not.
occurrence
Is that or not?
is the Lions Club doing, up at 32nd Street, they do the car races, what are those called?
Oh, yes.
Box cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, where my son used to do that, they build a car. And then you drop them, and they drop down into a hay bale at the bottom of the hill, the highest hill in Pedro. It was really cool. So you know, the service clubs, the,
Oh my gosh.
The what?
barbecue.
Well.
yeah, I mean, those
This
are
is great.
things,
That's right.
those are great things. So somebody online, why don't you tell me something that you can use on number one? Somebody chime in for me. I can't see who's up there.
Hi, this is Suzette, and I live in Los Angeles. And in our neighborhood, I haven't seen a Keller Williams sign. And so if I were to solicit my neighborhood, I would say I've lived here for 26 plus years. I'm your neighbor. I definitely know the neighborhood. You want to sell your home to an insider, then reach out to me because I know everything about our neighborhood. I know about the,
So when you went through the number one thing, identify your knowledge, attitude, skills, and beliefs, did you have one for every category? One would be the neighborhoods. What would the
Right.
attitudes be?
my beliefs. I believe it's a neighborhood where everyone knows everyone. We watch out for each other. We protect each other. We're a
So
village.
it's a collaborative, it's a community.
Yes, definitely a community.
I know the neighborhoods and am a part of the community, and my ability to, now we're talking about skills. What's your skills? Not just real estate, but like in life. What did you do before you did real estate?
Oh, I'm an accountant. I'm in insurance sales.
Okay, so
I know all the sheriffs in the neighborhood.
right. So what you want to then is my knowledge of this neighborhood and the fact that I'm really active in the community with my financial background, I'm able to give you the insiders, the insiders knowledge of, I don't know, I'm just thinking it off the top of my head, but something
Right.
like that, where you take each one of those that you can
Mhm.
and you turn it into like an elevator speech, your value proposition.
Okay.
Okay, so then number two is transform the value you provide and the value of KW in your marketplace center into benefits for your clients, and then build your value proposition statement. We kind of just did that with yours, your knowledge. Arthur, same thing. I grew up in the South Bay. I'm part of the community by being, I don't know, let's say he's an athlete. I played baseball on Torrance Little League for 15 years, and use that thing, with my financial background, I can help you determine what's the best move for you to make. Move, right? Move. Either way, buy or sell. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. I hope that helps a little bit, everybody.
I think we should talk about the dog more. Because I love it so much.
I know, he's cute. So step two, transform, we just kind of went through all this. I just went past it faster. Build your value proposition statement. So I want you guys to go through, we got some time, and do a value proposition comment. Like, think about, I'm gonna blast the neighborhood. Okay, Suzette, same with you, right? What we just talked about.
Mhm.
There's not a lot of Keller Williams, so Keller Williams is gonna be small on your blast. It's more about you, right, Suzette?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
for a minute. So I would say with Suzette, because she's in LA and there's not a lot of Keller Williams signs up there, she wants to get Keller Williams signs up there.
Yes.
To do that, she's gonna have to sell herself. And by the way, with Keller Williams, did you know we have 200,000 agents that can, that we collaborate, what's the word I'm thinking of? We share, we communicate all our properties with 200,000 agents throughout the country. So with that, you want to do, like my slogan used to be, find your way home. was my slogan, but then I didn't copyright it and Zillow took it.
Oh,
Little C circle next
Zillow
to
took it.
town.
Doesn't matter. They took it and copyrighted it.
Not very good.
It's with the copyright ours then.
Yeah, I never thought about copyrighting it.
You're like me, I don't think people could do that.
Yes,
That-
but they were trying to solicit me to be a premier agent, and then I was emailing back and forth, and they saw my slogan. They probably had a contest, and that guy probably won $1,000, and he got the slogan. And I was sitting watching TV one day, and it says,
Oh,
"Find your way home,"
gosh.
and I'm like, I literally threw up.
Oh my God, I've seen one of my slogans be used in a law thing, like on a, that was with one firm, and then she was somebody and she used what I used to write
Mhm.
on the website. But I, it wasn't, it's not a branding issue, so I didn't freak out. But we have been working on our branding and I would just be so glad.
Right, so
Yeah,
granted,
so sorry that.
yeah, so granted, I can't use it at all now because it's copyrighted, but if another agent in another state uses it, I don't give a crap, right? I mean, that's the best form of flattery, is somebody taking your stuff.
That's what I think.
But so basically what our point here, Suzette, is for you to get that message out, so when buyers or sellers look at it, they want to call you.
Okay.
Okay, so what would make me want to call you if I'm sitting there thinking, is this, all the kids are grown, right? Am I in this house, in this neighborhood? I don't know where your neighborhood is, but I'm just thinking it's probably, kids are grown. I've got a lot of house here. And I know about the agent, the guy at Remax that's always there, or he's always got his mailers. But you want to stand out. So this is my suggestion, if it's okay.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
So I did bold last month we did the bold thing. And one of the things, there was this thing called reverse prospecting. Because they wanted us to make 800 calls in a week, and that's 20 a day. And I was like, I don't have time. I teach, I do all this stuff, right? So what we're doing is I've got somebody who's been texting me. So I am working on a reverse marketing. What it is I went to SoFi and I bought 4 tickets for their tour. And it's call in to win. Right? Call in to win. And it's on the front side of I have the concerts in the park. It's not about real estate. The front part's it'll say like Torrance, Redondo, Manhattan. There's different ones that they're free concerts in the park. So, which to me is part of the community, right? You want to be part of the community, right? So that
Correct.
you can host if it's a kid's neighborhood, you could host a what do you call that? With kids, fingerprinting.
Oh, yeah,
The identikit,
Oh, right.
right?
Right.
With all the kids coming up missing and all that stuff. Think about what your neighborhood needs. What's the problem you're gonna solve?
I'm
you
thinking.
What kind of, the neighborhood you're talking about?
I live in Baldwin Hills.
Where?
Baldwin Hills.
No, I don't know the neighborhood. Is there an issue? Somebody's got a question. What's that say? Thanks. I was only on the cell phone and now I'm on. Oh, okay. Somebody's just letting me know that they came back in.
That's her.
Oh, that was you?
No, that's her speaking.
That was me, Suzette.
Okay, so I guess my question is, I don't know is it mostly families? Is it mostly seniors? Is it mostly?
So my neighborhood is mostly families, seniors, and we're now going through gentrification because during the past 2 years, a house would go on the market, and of course there were bidding wars, and now they're going on the market. I think they're staying on the market like 37 to 40 days now, but I haven't seen any price drops yet.
Yeah, is there any events in the community, like concerts in the parks, or is there a homeless issue?
There's definitely a homeless issue.
Okay,
There were a lot of, because Google and who else will be? Google's over here now, and so those are our new homeowners.
oh, the techie.
The techies are moving in, and their
Okay.
parents and their parents are helping them buy the homes.
So.
Amazon, Google,
So
HBO.
that's coming into your neighborhood, great. So, so you're gonna cater to sellers that are probably resenting it. Or, homeowners that are resenting it that have been there for a long time. So,
Correct.
right, but then the other
Yes.
part is you wanna entice buyers to come into that neighborhood,
Correct.
right? So there you have it. What can I do to satisfy both? You guys, let's help her with this. We could do a reverse call in, you could do, because I want them to call you. I don't want them to call the other guy. So what I'm doing is, there's also a beachside festival, right, that's coming up. So I bought 2 tickets, general admission, that I'm gonna be giving away. So it's call in for 2 general admission tickets for that day, Saturday, whatever it is. And it's called Beachside Ranch, and you use their logo, and then at the bottom of it, I'm gonna have some kind of QR code that says something like, they could use their, because it's a postcard, right? So you could do, like, I don't know, check out my, my list of service providers, or my list of, or my latest listing. I don't know, just put something there with a QR code to that website, or a questionnaire. Are you interested in a equity evaluation in today's shifting market? Make a QR code so that they have that postcard. They can go like this, take a picture of it. And now they've logged in there, they've kind of filled out the information, you now have that. But the biggest thing is you tell them, call me on this day, let's say it's August 15th from 9 to 5. Call in to win.
Okay.
You can do a $100 gas card, I don't care what it is. I'm just saying, especially with, gas prices now have gone down $1, but they're still $4 higher, it's like.
It was $4 higher.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy, but it's.
Yeah, it's like there's, I'm not buying it, buddy. So do you get what I mean, Suzette?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Do you get what I'm talking about? So
Yes.
basically,
Yes. And
what
I'm
you're
thinking,
doing is something different. You're offering them something, not asking them for something. They're
And
gonna
the-
have a that gave me a chance to win tickets to our, SoFi, or to $100 for the gas card or whatever. They're gonna look for that every week. I did when I was brand new, I did a monthly newsletter called Cotner News. It was Cotner Sells the Coast was my slogan. I lived in Pacific Beach, and I mailed it every day. It had Lauren's Corner, it had some kind of comp, all the houses that sold, everybody wants to, I had a kids corner, which was either a puzzle, a questionnaire, something that they sent in, and then I had a contest so that they could send, and on that it had, and if you guys want that, you can email me and I can scan you a picture of it, or take a
Great.
picture, or
Mhm.
text me, okay? Because I think, granted, it was 1998, it was 1,000 years ago, but we're going back, and my belief is we have to go back to standing out. We have to go back out and offer them something, because everybody else is saying, give me, give me, give me. And investors are knocking on people's doors. They literally knock in and walk into people's houses and say, do you want to sell? That's breaking and entering, but they do it. Just happened to my listing. I had a sign up front, they still do.
So I think my neighbors, and I think the community in my neighborhood, they would go for something for SoFi. Because my neighbors are always posting the Rams and whatever's going on in SoFi, it's always an extra neighbor from my
Call
neighborhood.
their sales office, right? Online, there's a thing for a tour package, so $39 on the thing, or 30, so that's, you can get 4 of them, that's cheap to me. To send out, you don't go with them, they get a chance for either 2 or 4 tickets, and you want it on the day they can go down to the field and kick the field goals.
Oh,
It's really fun, I did it. Okay?
okay.
So you can do that 1 week. Then, so what I did was I planned the next 6 months. SoFi, Ranch Life, Dodger games coming, you know, whatever's coming next, the football game, hockey, whatever sport's coming. Get some tickets. If you know somebody that's got suites, see if they'll give you a couple. This is where you find out another thing when you're writing an offer. When I sold my house in San Pedro, it was multiple offers, and this couple, these two guys, they're so cute, Jason and his last name's Kelly, but anyway, came in and they offered me over asking, but they also threw in a trip to Hawaii to their timeshare and paid the airfare for $2,500 extra, but they got the house. So you guys, as you're talking to your buyers and sellers, you learn about them, right? You know, oh, they've got a timeshare. How about throwing that in?
So in their offer, this is so rad, so in their offer, they're the buyers, this cute couple, they were the buyers. And they said, hey, accept our offer and you can stay at our timeshare.
Right.
And that's okay with RESPA. Like, I'm getting confused
Well,
about.
that's a buyer.
Actually, that's what I'm about to say, like, would that be?
That's a buyer. That's not, the buyer's saying to the seller, I'm giving this all.
Right.
That's true.
Because I was the seller, I wasn't the agent.
This is transactional. This is
Yes.
not in the advertising.
Yes, I happen to be an agent too. Does that make sense, you guys?
Transaction.
That was
Yes.
buyer to seller. Like one of them, like my one gal was like, I'll give you haircuts, you know, or I'll give you a year free of salon thing. Whatever they do, you say, you know what, you guys, especially if you know the seller's staying, if they're leaving, it doesn't make sense. Right.
In the area.
Right, if they're going to Tennessee, maybe you know somebody that has a Airbnb out there and says, you know what, we're gonna offer this Airbnb in Tennessee for you for 2 weeks while you get settled, whatever it is. This is how you build relationships. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so I would do the call-in. Suzette, call-in to win. I can take a picture of what I'm doing and send it to you.
Please.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to reach out to me. My phone number, you guys ready?
Yes.
310, it's my cell, so you can text me. 310-508-5957. You have to ask for what you want me to send you. I'm not gonna be a mind reader.
I'll ask.
310-508-5957.
508-5957, yeah. And that's my cell. Anytime you guys need any questions, answers, help with your proposition thing, I'm here, okay?
Perfect.
Okay. So now we're
Thank
gonna,
you so much for that.
yeah, no, I just think, did everybody else online get anything out of that? Let me bring this menu up. Rosemary or Michael or Cece, Sandra, did any of you see something in that or hear something that maybe you can use too, like for your neighborhood? Nobody wants to participate.
I just.
Oh, so.
Hi, this is Cecilia. Yes, that's something I can say too, is that I'm been in Gardena for over 40 years. I know the South Bay like the back of my hand, the whole, PV Torrance, Hawthorne
Right, which
area.
is great. So that's when there's your profit, there's about, I know the areas, I know the pockets, right? We know the pockets. Cece, another thing you can say is I hear about houses coming on the market before they come on because of our network of agents.
Mm,
Do you guys get that?
That's
yeah.
too.
So what I've done at open houses is, as I say, and it's not a lie because we do know those most of the time. So I say, you know what, if you guys want to know before they come on the market, because of our network of agents, I can set you up as a VIP list. What does that mean? Well, it means you're going to get emails or, texts that say, hey, this house is coming on the market. It may not fit your criteria, but you may know somebody that does. They want to know what's coming before anybody else. So on that KW shares thing on the WhatsApp, if you guys aren't on it, I recommend getting on it. I would reach out and say, hey, anything coming that you can share with me, and they can DM you, in your area, whatever. Okay? Everybody, you guys get that?
Yes.
I'm on a group chat for the Miracle Morning thing, but there's a group chat for all of KW.
Yeah, so there's one, it's called KW, it's on WhatsApp.
All right, let's.
Okay, let me go to WhatsApp.
Yeah, I've got that.
Okay, hang on, I gotta find what it's called. Are you guys all on it online too? So it's,
I'm on Facebook.
no, so on WhatsApp. I don't know
Yes,
what
I
this is. Is that WhatsApp, the green one? I think it's
Yeah.
on WhatsApp. Okay, KW shares dash real estate.
How do you define that?
I don't know, shit.
I'm looking right now, and if I find it, I will show you.
Okay.
It's just called, I don't know how to search. I guess up in the box, you just have
Yeah.
KW shares.
Interesting though.
So it's KW caps and then space shares dash real estate.
Settings,
No,
Dash
up in the
share.
box, and there's a search box.
all new groups, search KW.
Oh, you're ahead of me. So look up new group? Oh, no, that's.
No, that's starting a new group. Maybe I have to invite you.
Yeah.
Must have to, yeah.
Probably.
So, okay,
Yeah,
so
which I have.
how do I do that? Let's see.
I think we have to text you first.
And then I can invite you guys all to it.
All right.
Okay, guys?
So, what is, wait, hang on, I think I need to create a new contact.
I can get it over into I've got right here.
Fun, it's okay, yeah.
And I can come to that stuff. What's nice about what's happening. So we should. That is this one, and I use it because I like it, but when I use it, and then you and I can meet it.
Enter your name and
So I just-
options.
So another thing is when you get these emails about the flyers, I just got something about sign ordinances in Rancho Palos Verdes. They've changed it. Jesus. harmonies.
Oh, they changed the signage thing again?
Yeah.
About our signs, because I know we can only have like a 4 square inch.
That's
sign.
on PV. This is Rancho PV, so.
Oh, that's where I live.
Yeah, so it's, they just, time and December, you guys will see.
Oh,
So your value proposition is part of, like, I think Cece, was it Cece that said that she's been in Gardena for 40 years. It's probably where she markets. People probably know her just by walking her dog or walking out in the street neighborhood. So the problem is a lot of us are secret agents. You should be wearing your Keller Williams shirts. You should be wearing your Keller Williams hats.
Do we have those for sale in the office?
Yes, Natalie has.
Okay.
It says hashtag KW South Bay.
Oh.
You can also buy them online. There's a KW Red store, I think. I'm not sure, but there's KW store too. Many can tell you. Anyway, I digress. Sorry, guys. So break it into, we're gonna get your value proposition down to something you guys are comfortable with. So break it down into what knowledge do I bring to this job? Perhaps you have a degree in finance, accounting, law, like she does. Or you've worked in construction and you have great knowledge of homes or home building, or you've been in interior design. Or you have a really good eye for that. Or maybe, like me, I was in aerospace. It had nothing to do with.
Really?
Roads. Yeah, I worked at Garrett for years, but you know what I mean? So I came in with just the ability to be able to talk to people like really well. And then the more I learned, the more I was able to educate people. I'm a teacher. That's what I do. Or even when I'm out there talking to people at open houses, I'm always sharing, did you know you could do this and this? So that's why I talk about you guys staying up on the proposition, staying up on the laws, staying up on, like the Gavin Newsom, the HOAs can't block things now. You know, what was it that they blocked? Pets?
No.
Oh, renting.
Renting, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you mean,
So an HOA used to say
oh, yeah, they can say like, you can only have a
30
certain
days
rented.
is your minimum. No,
Oh,
they
it's
can
not
still
that.
do that. They
Okay.
can still- They can still limit if
I
they,
thought it was
a
that.
percentage. No, what he's saying is, like, and the one I sold, they can only have 30-day rentals. That's what the HOA says. Even though the state has overridden that. If the HOA plays dumb, which they did, you can rent it out.
Oh, okay, so that's a very nuanced thing. I thought that they went and changed that, you know, thing to protect the investment of the other condo owners where they minimize, you know.
Oh, no, they minimize their own.
Yeah, that's what I thought that.
Ask participants to fill out a chart in the participant guide. Do you guys have a participant guide? I don't have one.
Yes.
Okay, with their attributes. After they've completed the task, ask them to circle their attributes and align them with the buyers and sellers. So basically what they want you to do is go through, maybe it's on this. No. Is to go through and get all your attributes. What are your things you're great at? Let's take a few minutes and do that. Each of you online too. Like, I think Suzette and I kind of walked through yours, you know, and Cece, you've been here for 40 years, a lifetime thing, you know, I've lived here for this. You come from finance or accounting. Cece, what's your background?
I have my degree in business, finance. I think my concentration was actually real estate.
Yeah,
But at the time, I didn't think I would be a realtor. I became a flight attendant. I've been a flight attendant for 25 plus years. And
Nice.
before that, I worked at Merrill Lynch.
so, but in the same conversation as Suzette, right, you can say, you know, your knowledge of and staying up on the latest laws and finance and beneficials for you. Granted, I always say, talk to your attorney or talk to your finance person, but I always give them the guideline to start the conversation. A lot of them don't even start the conversation. And the benefits of a trust versus not having a trust. I mean, the trust is very private. What's happening in the probate, everybody knows that it's in an LOD, it's in this, it's all these things, you know, so that's, if you guys ever need help with probates and trust, that's my specialty. And
Oh, that's
divorce,
good to know.
yeah, divorces. Yeah. So everybody's been coming in and seeing me about questions on probates. Because if I don't know, I just call my one attorney. He's like, oh yeah, you're fine, you know. So it wants us to think through how our knowledge, attitude, skills, beliefs can be beneficial to your clients. Many of your life experiences can be relevant to real estate, right? I mean, think about it, everything we do kind of. If you don't see it, look at it from another angle. Even if you haven't articulated it to yourself, you've already used your experience to help others. For instance, the divorces. I went through it. I know the dynamics. I know what happens. I know the hate. I know this. I know, you know, what happens. And I have to keep saying, I'm here for the process. I'm not taking sides. This is about getting you guys top dollar for the house so you can go on with your lives. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what they said? I was in class yesterday and they suggested that if it gets, there's too much conflict, to suggest that each person have their own agent represent them.
You can, but if you're really good at what you do, you don't have to.
Okay.
You just keep them separate and say, if this person says, I'm gonna tell that something, blah, 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 you translate it to, oh, well, your wife wants this amount. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's what because typically when there's a divorce, there's an attorney. So you two are the buffers.
Yeah.
So you build trust with that attorney. Like I've got divorce attorneys, I've got probate attorneys, I've got trust attorneys. They depend on me to be the buffer and then bring them the what's it called? The condensed Reader's Digest version. I don't know if you guys know what Reader's Digest is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we know.
Oh, somebody's in my house. I got an alarm.
You know him.
I hope there's somebody, oh, maybe it's just the wind. I got a notice that my alarm, my camera's going, so making sure nobody's in my apartment. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Perhaps you were a teacher or a little league coach. You have experience helping others. Okay, so that's that. How did your personal experience make you especially helpful? As a teacher or a little league coach, you're a good advisor. You were able to keep things, you know, together. You're a team player, right? So all those things are really important to dig deep to figure out your benefits to make your value proposition fit for both buyers and sellers. How did your personal experience make you especially helpful? How could you use it in the future? When considering how to make it real estate relevant, think about the buyers and sellers and say are most important factors to them. Remember that thing we went through about the most important factors? Now turn those into, okay, I'm a teacher, I'm a great guidance. Oh, so I'm able to guide you to the end of the line without few problems. You know, you want to use your best you to put out there to them so that they know that that's your best you. I don't know what I just said, but I think it made sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes I'll just say something, I'm hoping it's being recorded because, now think through how the value you receive from KW. So the info, why are we at KW? Why did I come back to KW, right? And your market center can be beneficial to your clients. Let's say your market center average is 98.9% listing price. You can find that out by asking your team leader or your broker. They'll get you those numbers. And I think they're valuable to use in your presentations. Market center averages 98.9% of the listing price, which means when they list it, they get close to 98% of the value. Okay, if it's not good, don't use it, but at least ask it. When meeting with a potential client, you could share this statistic with them. However, it does not convey the full scope of your value to your clients. Instead, you can say, you get the best sales price for your home due to my thorough training and negotiations. Right? You can also think about the services you offer them that are made faster, more convenient, or more accurate when you use the Keller Williams technology such as Command or KPI, whatever. The other thing you can always use is the Keller Williams Concierge and the Keller Williams Mortgage and the Keller, that one where they buy the house and then they fix it up, they resell it, and you get the difference afterward. There's different ways of doing it. There's also somebody that comes in with Sukasa, they come in, fix it up. They take their fee at the end. So you could spend the time, but sometimes that's 2 months off the market. And in this market, that's killer. That's not a good thing, but it's just things to use. Because a lot of companies can't offer those.
The KW concierge is the one where they kind of.
That's, I think so. Yeah, where they redo it. It's with Sukasa. Yeah. Now we'll move to step 3, build your value proposition. The strongest value proposition for your client combines the value you offer backed by the value offered by Keller Williams in the market center. Remember that it's not just about perfection. Your value proposition will most likely change as you learn new skills and gain more experience. So one agent would talk more about the neighborhood and his knowledge like that until you get experience, right? So where's your market area? Where do you live?
I live in person.
You live in, where do you live? Hawthorne.
Yeah,
Okay. You what?
I moved around a lot.
Okay.
So, like, I'm familiar with,
You guys,
I used to live in like Baldwin Hills.
or she was, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
then I moved to Hawthorne, and then I moved to Inglewood for a long period of time, and I'm now currently in Hawthorne.
So have you picked a farm area, a market area that you're gonna be blasting?
I haven't picked it, I'm thinking maybe Hawthorne area.
Right, where you are now? What it is where you're out walking your dog, where you're out seeing people, where people see you on a regular basis. But if you're gonna be at the grocery store. I used to be at the grocery store and somebody says, I haven't gotten my newsletter yet. I want the newsletter. So things would come on. So you've got to be consistent. And I'm telling you, it takes 7 hits before you'll get a call or participation. But it takes 7 hits minimum. So you've got to have that in your budget. How much is it to send to 500 or whatever you're going to send it to? And Keller Williams here, I don't know about LA, I'm sure they do. They have the permit that you can use in your mailers that takes it from 55 cents down to 33 cents. So that's a good idea. And you can print it on your printer, okay? So, and you just pay it in the back room. That's how you do it. I hired somebody when I was married because I was making all kinds of money with him. So it's different, but you got to come up with a budget. Pick your farm area, 500 homes, 250, and hit them on a regular basis. Go to your title company, get their phone numbers and email addresses. Hit those that way. If those aren't good, so what, you're getting somebody else in the database. Yeah, so it's,
So I know that my particular area of Carson is very saturated with agents because we get door knocked at least once a week. By different agents, and we get flyers from at least 4 different agents once a week
on a regular basis.
on a regular basis.
Okay.
Well, not once a week, maybe like once a month, 4 different
Right.
agents. And because my particular area, the houses are valued a little higher, or they're selling for a little higher than the rest of Carson.
And go to the other part of Carson. My thought is that, because you wanna go where the buyers can afford anyway.
Right, yeah,
So if they haven't gentrified yet, they're going to.
yeah, it's on there.
So what I would do is, if you're in this pocket of 750, 800, a million,
Yeah.
go down to the 500 to 600,000.
Oh.
That's, because nobody wants that, that's the ones you want.
Yeah.
And another thing you guys can do is go into your MLS. And you can write reports, I don't know how to do it each one, but you can write a report that says, how many have sold in this neighborhood and who sold it.
Okay.
So it'll tell you, oh, yeah, we've had 30 sales, but it's from 30 different agents listing it. There's no loyalty.
Yeah,
So until you figure out, and you want a turnover rate of about 6%.
yeah, what's also weird is some of the houses that, so 3 houses have sold on my street in the past year. One, a family just moved in, the other 2, they're freshly updated, they were updated before they sold, they're sitting empty.
Did they buy from Chinese buy them and they keep them, that's where they put their money. So you have to go look at title, it'll tell you who the owners is. And what that does is you'll find out, and foreign investors come in and buy them, because when they shut them down in that country, they've got money here. That's how they do it.
Say, nobody lives in the house.
Literally, there's 2 houses on my street. that-
And you can call them and say, hey, would you be interested in having me find your renters if you pay me 1 month's rent? How's that for an answer?
Yeah.
Or would you like to do a short-term lease? I've got some people that are building a house and they need a place to rent for 6 months.
That's a very good idea.
And that way you can pick your neighbors.
Yes,
I always think of
Yeah.
a way around,
okay.
okay? So everybody get that? And so building our value proposition, the strongest value proposition for your client combines, like I said, the value of you and the value of Keller Williams and your market center. So my value proposition, and wants me to share mine, would be, it varies, but typically it's with my vast knowledge of the neighborhoods in the South Bay, 24 plus years experience, and ability to solve, ability to problem solve anything that's come up. I'm the right agent for you because I've seen it all. And if I haven't, I know how to handle it because I have. That's just kind of my thing. And people don't realize when you're saying that, what do you mean problems? What do you mean there's problems? I don't want problems.
Yeah.
Well, half of them, they don't know they have,
Right.
because I'm the problem.
Sorry, just going off of that, my client is running into a problem right now. Apparently, you have to make an appointment at Wells Fargo when you're gonna wire money. Because he's buying. But there's no available tellers until Monday for him to do that. Because of, they have certain COVID restrictions still.
Oh, you
But
know,
you take from the bank.
that may be
Yeah.
different to be a big energy. that we're
He said,
inspired.
I'm canceling my Wells Fargo account.
Yeah.
for this.
To be honest, I can do that, sir.
Did you guys hear that?
It's the most annoying thing, so annoying.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear Rebecca saying.
You know what? Take your money out of Wells Fargo, put them somewhere else.
I
I know.
I'm not a big resident.
You know what I'm doing? I'm gonna go to, I won't be able to stay because I know the manager, they know me when I walk in there. But you find a bank, a small one, California Credit Union, Connecticut Credit Union, they're not gonna play games.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's too bad. I would just say I'm,
No, he said he's literally gonna do that. I told him he's going to get a cash step and he's gonna take it in. I said, try to flirt your way into seeing Tyler for the buyer.
right.
Yeah.
cashier's check for the amount due.
Yeah,
So you take the cashier's check, you still have to go in the bank,
yeah,
but there's no teller, so what the hell's the difference?
exactly. What is the difference?
I didn't.
So I told him to ask them.
Do it online. You can do a wire online.
Oh, but it's over their minimum, the max.
Oh, are you freaking kidding?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Close the
that's
deal.
why it's a big old.
Right, but still-
It's a bigger wire.
They won't let
My
'em buy.
escrow always just wires.
That's a weird situation.
Yeah.
Well, guess who I'm not banking with?
Well, be an agent, you know, be an agent, you have talents, and it must be the same thing.
Okay, so you guys, we're supposed to now come up with your value proposition. So basically what I'd love from you guys, we're almost at 1 o'clock, is basically figure out a way to come up with one, and each of you text me your value proposition. How's that? No, yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Nobody up there is saying. I'd love to see it, and maybe if you're like still struggling with it, text me and I can help you. Dig deeper by asking questions, you know, but I do think I'm a big proponent of getting your name out there, Suzette, that call in to win is a great idea.
And I have a question. So, you know, I'm also did do insurance sales. And one thing I would always share with my clients that would help me against another agent is that some agents are just out there to sell the customer and walk away. And they want to sell them the highest premium. And then what had happened, they would sell them the highest premiums, they get their first paycheck, and they cancel all their policies. So my philosophy is, listen, I'm not here to sell you. I'm here to educate you so you can make an informed decision on what you want to do.
And
So
keep
maybe
you educated even after we close.
Yes. Mhm.
So basically what I'm here for is to guide you for the rest of your life,
Okay.
okay?
Mhm.
As long as you need anything real estate, I'm your go-to gal. Any questions, and you come from a financial background, and so does Cece. You guys can use that to your benefit. You know, you keep up on stuff. Here's who I recommend for this. Oh, yes, I have, I have somebody put the chat up there. I'm sorry. Says I wasn't late, it was online. Oh, it's okay. I know. It's okay. What was I saying? So basically, what we just talked about with you, Suzette, is absolutely right. You can use that forever. You basically, I think it's Brian Buffini that says your clients for life.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah, clients for life. So what that means is afterward, you send them something. Like if they're selling a house, there's this company called Perfect Closing Gifts. I take the photograph of their house and I put it on a glass cutting board, especially if it's an emotional sale.
Oh,
And if
that's
there's 4 heirs, you do it for the 4 heirs. And then there's ones where you can do the coasters, you could do their bedrooms, you know, something like that. You could do their backyard, wherever it is that you find as you're talking what they remember about the house. You for buyers, like I'm doing a thing now on every open house, I have a thing that says free pizza with the purchase of house on the name writer. And so now they go, what's that mean? I go, well, when you close, I'll bring you pizza. I don't care whose client it is, right? You know, I'll meet their agent with them. But guess what? After that, every month on their anniversary, I'm going to send them a pizza. That agent's probably done and gone. And guess who talks about it? They tell their neighbors
Mm-hmm. That's smart.
that you didn't leave after it was done. I hope you guys are getting stuff out of this.
Oh, I'm not.
A lot.
You get them like a whole box of pizza?
Yeah, you just order, I like to go to the local pizza place that's in the neighborhood, because it helps them, like there's La Bella in Napoli, and I'll just tell them, I'll call him and say, deliver pizza at this time every month on this month, and you know, I call them the night before and remind, put it on your calendar, You call it the night before and say, hey, can you deliver to Joe Smith at 4010 Bluff at 6 p.m. and you text them and say, hey, don't have dinner tonight. They'll be like, what? And then they go to deliver it. They're like, we didn't order this. No, it's been paid for. It's compliments of Suzette Banks. Enjoy the dinner. Happy anniversary. Happy
Nice.
house anniversary.
Wait, every month or every year?
Every month I would do it.
Got it.
It's cheap. It's cheap. $20.
Yeah.
But you do it every month?
Yeah.
Every year.
Every month?
Every month makes sense, yeah.
If you think about it,
Yeah.
because the other agent, you go with them that day, the other agent say, hey, it's part of my deal, I give everybody a pizza, so you're not stepping on their toes. But I guarantee you, that buyer's agent's on the next buyer and hasn't even, they may call them and say, oh, how's the house going? And I've sent them a pizza that says, hey, hope you're enjoying, even with a note, if you want to drop that each month, happy first anniversary, give it to the local pizza place. I'm just now thought of this while I'm talking to you, Suzette. Little note says, happy second month anniversary. Hope you're enjoying the home. Call if there's any questions. And then on the third one, you can happy third month anniversary. Normally, this is when somebody needs a handyman.
Yeah.
Call me for a handyman referral. And then the fourth one, you could say, happy fourth month anniversary. Oh my gosh, you're in the summer, right? Because you're gonna know. I hope you're enjoying the bike ride down to the beach. Whatever, you guys, it's taking some thought and consideration for another human being that just spent $1 million on a property.
Yeah, right.
Think about it, you guys.
Yeah.
Just because you only made 30,000 or 10,000, whatever, doesn't mean that they just didn't
And
pull
they
everything.
trusted you with that.
Yeah, with that decision, they trusted you.
Trusted you. That's where.
And even if I'm the listing agent and those are the buyers, 98% of the buyers agents don't follow up. I'm guilty of it too. So I'm starting to do the pizza every month on the anniversary.
I have a question.
Yeah,
How long would you do the pizza to the
for the first year, maybe.
Open the first year.
Yeah, and then maybe after that,
You mix it up a little.
you
bit.
mix it up and maybe you do quarterly, but you include them in your client parties. Your client events, maybe do it, since the concerts at the park are free. There was one year I went down, it was because it was Elvis impersonator. So we roped off an area. I went down like the night before, roped off an area and had RSVP. I knew there was gonna be 50 people and I had a guy dressed as Elvis and he was in our group. And everybody got a picture with him. So you can do those kind of things for a free event. You can do a golf day. You can go to Top Golf. And just start, but first, it's just about the little thing of pizza. Because I said pizza with purchase of the house.
Yeah.
I also have gas card with free gas card with purchase of house. So the day they move in, depending on which house it is, right? The day they move in, take their cars and go, let's go down to the gas station. Oh yeah. Or give them $100. Because you're the other side,
Right, for the anniversary, do you consider the day they got their keys or closing day?
That's a good question. I would say closing day
Closing day.
because it's easier to track.
Yeah.
I don't know when my assistant, maybe the assistant gave me keys.
Yeah.
When was that?
Gotcha.
Maybe the buyer's agent gave me key and Frank's like, shit, when did he do that? It's supposed to be about,
Gotcha, okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm taking it out, I'm taking it all in, yeah.
Yeah, do you guys get that up there online?
Yes,
I mean, think about it. It's just one little thing, but the intention is amazing.
if,
Right?
when we bought our home 26, 27 years ago, and the agent never followed up with us.
Right,
If the agent had followed up with us, then I could have used her as a referral.
right. But that's my point. So
Exactly.
even though you're the listing agent, if you send a pizza every month,
Yeah.
even if the only other one called the first month, then you're now sending you've got 12 notes, right? You
Right.
do 11, because you're doing the next till that day, and then the final day say, happy 1 year anniversary. I hope you enjoyed your home. you know, come up with what they may need in a year. You know, maybe you need to refinance, here's a lender, you know, just think about what's happening in the market. And you don't have to do the notes in advance, you can take them to them in 3-month increments, depending on what's happening in the marketplace. It's just an idea to do. And make sure and tip the delivery person.
Yes, he doesn't hate those people.
Right. Well, it's just because they're dropping off a note too.
Yeah.
You know. Okay,
Okay.
And it makes sense for the first year, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then on the 1 year, they get like alcohol or something, whatever.
right, whatever you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for the 1 year, it depends on when it falls, maybe it's like, hey, and the other thing, you can host a housewarming party, guess what, now you've got their database.
Oh my.
Say,
Mm.
can I have everybody in your database so we can invite them to your housewarming party? Well, guess what, now you've got.
Or even hold it for them and.
Host dinner. How-
Yes, so the buyer, you're the buyer's agent, not the listing agent.
Yeah.
You're the buyer's agent. When it's all done, you host a housewarming party. Say, hey, I want to have, when do you want to host a housewarming? Oh, we need 3 months. Great. We'll plan it for March. Let's say they're closing January. March 15th, we're going to host I want to host a housewarming party. Do you want a theme? Yes, I want wine. Great. So we get, everybody gets laid when they walk in, whatever it is. I like that one. Yeah, so everybody gets something and we all leave with a gift bag with your info in it. And maybe some coupons from your service provider.
And her daughter, and because we were gonna do this, but we ran out of time and it was very limited population, but for my little one's graduation, we were gonna do lays, you know, for the little kids and stuff. So like that housewarming, people get laid and your card's just flapping from the necklace. I love it.
Right, or, you know, but it's all about being memorable. Because like you said, there's 6 or 7 in your neighborhood. Are they memorable? They just get postcards.
Yeah.
Have they done it? Do an ice cream truck down the neighborhood.
Oh, very.
What?
They're not allowed in my part.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Oh,
Something, I'm just saying something
Yeah.
like that. An in and out truck,
Oh, well, my neighbor's Wayne Chamber.
A coffee, a coffee truck, a taco guy, taco Tuesday. Hey, we're having Taco Tuesday, everybody come down. You don't have to have a special event.
Yeah, you don't need to plan and.
You don't have to have it
Great
for
idea.
July when everybody else is doing it. Do it when nobody else is doing it.
Yeah.
That's your value proposition. I am part of the community. And how do you become a part of the community, Suzette, is being there, doing things,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
I'm just giving you some of the ideas I've used. I used to do brokers opens where I would come and have a cup of Joe. You know, because I needed everybody up there, and I'd give a free lottery ticket when they all came up. They all got a scratch. You could give they're $1, for God's sake.
Yeah.
$100, you got 100 homes. What if they won? Hey, they give them a thing. When you win, remember who you're buying the house from. Who's your agent? Come on, you guys, come on. Make it part of your marketing. Every open house I have, I'm gonna give you a chance. The first 50 people get to enter, you know, get a lottery ticket, 25, people, whatever you want to do. The first get a lottery ticket scratcher. I don't know, you guys, I am an idea person. I could go on and on and on.
That's that awesome. Pretty.
So there's your value proposition, being part of the community. How do I become part of the community? I am the community. I be the community. I do things for the community that I love and live in. I live in it and I love it. And so that's what I do. Okay, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're all gonna send me your value proposition, any questions or whatever else it was I told you to ask me for. I forgot.
Oh, I said.
The call in to win.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Oh,
She's actually designing it now. So as soon as it's done, yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, just remind me when you text me what's going
Oh, I
on.
need for you.
Okay.
Thanks,
I'll do
guys.
that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry that I had to be on my device. I don't like doing that, but there was.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Bye.
coming.
Thanks.
Talk to Cotner, real quick.
Thank you, Lauren.
Please, Bill, come on, come.
Thank you, Lauren.
Bye, thank you. Did you have questions, Donna?
Yeah, well, I thought that it was, I did it, and because there's like a thing every Friday, will say, this is like the one, oh, that's different than
But
today's thing at one, isn't that, is the blueprint for success, isn't that like kind of the new me? The new rich things that.
More of a mastermind conversation.
So maybe I like that, yeah.
I'm white.
Yes.
It's becoming one.
So something like that, you want to have, and I'll do the 2 o'clock now. Today, I need to.
No, 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 okay.
That's all, that's part.
It's a lot of time.
I bet you did.
And
Yeah,
then
no, I was here yesterday doing the same thing.
Yeah. So it kind of wipes you. I
I
said,
signed her.
so I had some people on the Zoom this time participate. I always forget they're there, so I had them all
Yeah, no worries.
calling on their names.
Yeah, I haven't been using them at all. I'm just